Well, you know what? I think that if I asked a man if he got married, if all of the debt would be incurred by the woman and all he had to do was not have a credit card or bank account, he'd take that deal in 5 seconds.
What do you mean by not be forced to incur any debt?
It means that everything that money that I spend on all credit cards are immediately in your name.
Donated $200. In 1877, a woman was elected mayor in Kansas. Your history sucks.
Right.
Accuracy matters. You are in fact wrong. Feminism has failed you. Patriarchy is the way to the truth and stands ready to help be better.
Facts.
Yo, good one. Thank you. You had a question for her.
Yeah, I just wanted to get some clarification there. Nobody should be forced to incur debt. What does that mean?
Just like in a purely hypothetical, like perfect world, no one would be taking on debt to like go to college.
First of all, she did not ask that in a purely hypothetical world. She asked that after the conversation between Brian and that chick right there on the right. So it wasn't about a hypothetical world. That's bullcrap, first of all. She's doing that whole, oh, shoot, it looks like I'm caught in the line of sight. Let me try to mitigate my answer in order to do what? Move the field of battle onto a field on which she thinks she can win. So now it's not the reality of it about which Brian was speaking, but it's now hypothetical.
Let's talk about the real world.
Okay. In the real world, I mean, that's not possible.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it should.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, basically, you're implying that it's good that it's men's responsibility to incur all debt. And I feel like if that were actually the case, then we would be in a different argument where it would be like, well, women suck because women don't incur any debt and we incur all of their debt. So I feel like it's just kind of like a bad faith.
No, that's not the conversation in which we'd be, because males don't have a problem with that. But you all tell each other that males do, even though males don't. That's the craziness. Males are talking, saying what it is that we think, we feel, what it is that we want, how it is that we're going to be, how it is that we are. And instead of you all hearing us, you go and talk to each other and tell each other what you think we are, how you think we think, and then come back and try to argue with us about us when you don't even know us.
Argument. I don't know.
Well, it's not a bad faith argument. It's just giving a descriptor for why it happened that way. Sure. Why it was that women, and there was far more anti-suffragettes than there were pro-suffragettes, by the way, made very compelling arguments, like they didn't want to get drafted, for instance. They didn't want... See, what the anti-suffragettes said was that women had the moral high ground because they weren't political tools.
Right,
they weren't political tools because they couldn't vote. So they weren't tapped into as being political tools. So when they said something, they said it from a position of moral authority. They weren't being tapped into. So this is how they were able to argue successfully for things in women's interests without being just considered another voting bloc that needed to be appealed to.
Facts.
When it came to debt and things like this, it is true that women didn't hold they could have bank accounts, by the way. But most of the time, when they opened up lines of credit and debt and accounts, it was always in their husband's name, but the husband was also responsible for all of the debt. The women weren't. And even when the man died, the woman would get his property, but it may not be the same if a woman died, that he would automatically default and get the property. She was able to incur all sorts of wealth for herself and didn't have to spend it.
Do you think that's a more preferable system? Would you like to go back to that financial?
Well, I think it's a more preferable system to begin to move women outside of the workplace. That way we can go back to a family dynamic that works and we can get the reproductive health of the United States back up, because right now it's in the gutter. I don't know if you know this or not, but it's in the gutter.
Yeah, it's bad. And the reason it's bad is because it's not just the two incomes things, because people talk about, the government getting more taxes. No. You all are putting your onus on the wrong person, or actually on the wrong entity or person, because of what the freaking Supreme Court did. But it's the corporations that are the problem, not the government. People make this humongous mistake. The government is you. It's the people you vote in. You have an actual stake in that. You have no stake in corporations. So corporations are the ones that are the bad people. They're the problem. So they siphon your money. That's why they want two people working in the household, because if two people are working, yes, you pay more taxes, but if those taxes were giving you things back in return, services wise, you wouldn't have a problem paying those taxes. The problem is you're now two people working in a home and you're getting less because the corporations are siphoning your money, those taxes, to themselves, and doing stock buybacks and giving CEOs 300 to 400% of the money, 300 to 400 times rather, what it is that you're making.
So
Our
then,
birth rate's way low.
then why would it be a problem for any of us to say we'd like a man who can support a family? Like, why is that a problem if you think that men should be incurring all the debt and taking on all the financial responsibility? If a woman says, well, I'd like a man who can support a family in Santa Barbara.
Well, because
why?
Before Andrew answers, it's simple. Men don't have a problem with that. The thing with which they have a problem is females talk about having that guy without giving anything in return. Back in the day, females used to think about what it is that I'm going to give this man who I want to marry. That was their thought process. That was primary. What am I going to give him? There's a female who said something to me a couple months ago, and I date pretty females, and she's gorgeous, and she was like, she would give me a child because, she really, really cares about me. She has for a long time, and she'd give me a child. Her thought process is, what can I give to this man? That's her thought process. I want to give something to him. But females nowadays, a particular sect of them, especially in the West, are like, I just want everything. Like this one black chick was like, what I bring to the table? I bring this big A in this pretty face. And I'm going to take your money, and then I'm going to leave, and I'm going to take somebody else's. I'm going to do the same thing to the next guy. She literally said that. And I'm like, what? Yeah, ma'am. That's the problem. It's not that you all want a provider. It's that you all want a provider without providing anything in return.
Because this is a cyclical problem. So the problem is if you say, I would love to have a single income support me, but then at the same time not recognize the problem that if you double the workforce, you're going to have the wages of men, that you're basically perpetuating the same issue that you're against.
Jump in.
Again, jump in, asking the sisterhood. But Brian's like right and wrong there, because you will have the double the workforce, but that's not why the wages are being cut. As I said before, the wages are being cut because the corporations are siphoning all the money from you, even though your productivity is way higher than it used to be 40 years ago. You're only making a fraction of money more than what you were making 40 years ago. But the CEOs who used to only make 30 times what you made, so if you made 30,000, they made 900,000. You're now making 42,000, and they're making 20 million. So look at the jump. You went from 30,000 to 42,000, $12,000. They went from 900,000 to 20 million, like $19 million increase. And that's the problem, is that they're taking all of the money and they're giving it to all of the executives. They're no longer paying you for your productivity. They're only paying you for your time. I do workshops on this stuff. Two things are the things for which you get paid: your productivity and your time. So what you make, what you generate, and the time it takes you to make it. They're no longer paying you for what you generate. They're only paying you for your time now. And the money from what you generate, the productivity part, they're now giving to their executive branches. And then they're doing stock buybacks to artificially raise the price of the company's stock in order for them to look like the company's worth more than what it is, for them to be able to get more subsidies from the government and more investor money. This is the problem with the whole adding another person to the work roster. Not the incomes dropping because of that. That's not the primary reason why. But everything else he said absolutely destroyed these females who were talking. Bravo, Andrew. Bravo. Now, remember, this is the female guessing game. So out of all of these females you've seen, about which one do you think I'm about to ask you all? Drum roll, please. So, tell me, is she a traditional woman, modern woman, or modern female? Put it in the comment section and tell me why you think so. And then grab yourself some merch on the way out in order to support the channel. And, of course, don't forget to click like and subscribe. Thanks, good man fam.